Hey there, Mr. Kak, the Animanga Nerd, and I'm here to talk to you about One Piece Chapter 1039. And listen, before we get too far into it, I've got to do the thing where I say, if you enjoy any of this content, or if you just want to join on board my crew, please feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to keep up to date with all the other videos that I'll be posting as this goes on, hit the notification bell. Again, One Piece is definitely one of the prime series I'll be covering, as I'm going to walk through the chapter, just discussing the pages, and then we will then kind of flesh out our thoughts and kind of where we're at with everything at the end. So the chapter before, I guess the pre portion before the chapter starts, you get the color page spread that has all of the Straw Hats and a monkey in a crown. Now, a lot of people are saying, is that monkey in a crown potentially a clue to Luffy's devil fruit power? So the world, or the 5 Elder Stars, mentioned that there was a devil fruit that is out there that goes by a different name that has been lost to the annals of history. A lot of people, the theories running rampant are that it's potentially Luffy they're talking about, and that he might not have the Gumu no Mi fruit, the rubber fruit, but that he actually has something of a mythical zone that is akin to Sun Wukong, and that would then lead to his kind of Sun Wukong form, 5th form, Gear 5. I don't know where I feel about that, but I do feel like we're going to see something. I was still on board with Gear 5, or whatever the next gear is, whether it's a next progression of Gear 4, being something more tiger related, since it's the year of the tiger, and a tiger was heavily used for a lot of kind of the color pages leading up to this point. So I'm still on board Team Tiger. But Monkey King, whatever. He is Monkey D. Luffy, so maybe the monkey's just there to be a monkey. The first actual page we see that Momonosuke, in his pink dragon form, he started to pull Onigashima back a little bit. It seems like he's putting in the work to slow down, if nothing else, the floating island as it progresses towards the flower capital. And then he hears a voice, and at this point it is a giant elephant, we assume. It's Zunisha. It's got to be Zunisha. And somehow Zunisha is going to definitely help him in his trials and tribulation of stopping the floating Onigashima. So there's that. Then we cut into the dome interior live floor, and we see that everyone is looking on as Law and Kid have taken on and battered Big Mom. Big Mom isn't going to go down that easily. And then we get a moment that is typical One Piece fashion. Law, in the midst of a fight to the death, decides to tell the Kid, listen, I know what you're doing. You keep using your big move after I use my big move, so you can steal all the glory. So while Big Mom is getting up and readying herself to mess up our 2 supernovas, they are still kind of discussing the fact that Law would like Kid to attack first, so that way Law could provide the finisher. Big Mom does something then very interesting. So the fact that she's using her life is not too interesting. She did that earlier in the fight, but now she used her life to help heal her bones, but she did it in a way that turned her bones, her broken arms, into homies, because when she says, I'll have to exchange some life to bring you bones back, they then say, yes, mama. So it is interesting that her bones are now homies, and I'm not sure how that works. Then she creates the Mazer Saber, which is a combination of Napoleon, Hera, and Prometheus, which immediately cuts through Kid's metal bull. I forget what he called it. Sorry. Which I didn't do a chapter 1038, so you can't blame me too much. This is a new channel. Be my friend. And then we see that she's doing some taunting because she's still fired up. This still seems to be firmly in her grasp, or at least how she perceives it. And that she is very confident in her abilities because no one's challenged them for decades. And the fact that anyone has, her and Kaido put them in the sea, sent them to the bottom of the ocean. Kid pops out his awakening once more, using his assign to assign magnetism the polarities to Big Mom and a piece of the tower. So that way she's stuck there. It's helping weigh her down. So it's providing them a chance to kind of keep her from being super mobile. Because Big Mom, while she is big and momly, she can move. It then sets up for him to once yet again use his bull-like contraption to slam into her, but using that speed, that momly biggie speed that I talked about just a couple seconds ago, she was able to turn around and block that charging attack with just her sheer brute force and speed. She then unleashes her attack, Mother Misery. So she's created basically a homie attack. I think that's supposed to be Hera. I really not sure. I'll be very interested to see how this attack is animated. In a lot of this fight. Honestly, I'm very much looking forward to this fight getting animated. So she then unleashes an attack that has seemingly the ability to move on its own and take command, so it kind of feels like the attack is a homie or Hera or whatever. And that is even something they note about it. What it's moving? Her attack. It's alive. And then she's over there, mama, 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 mama. And then, of course, Law being Law throws a portion of a tower on top of it. And then he unleashes his last attack, which he had warned Kid earlier that he was going to do, but it was going to be at the cost of all of his remaining energy, stamina, however they choose to word that in the official release, which was once more his sword being coated in K-Room, and then him stabbing into Big Mom. This time, however, the sword not only extends a little bit, it extends down into the basement armory, and then it strikes down into the land of Wano below Onigashima. He continues to cause it to extend, and I'm not entirely sure here, but the repercussion of his puncture while destroys the ground. So it seems like it's heavily vibration related. So I've read some theories out there when people were looking at the spoilers saying that the further he extends it, the more vibrations he's able to build up and the more damage it actually does. And if that's the case, awesome. But it also set up that Law had to sit there and take hockey infused punches from Big Mom directly, which, even though Law gets absurdly damaged in every fight we've seen him in so far, that had to be a brutal moment to endure as Big Mom is raining down haymakers upon him. Big Mom does not take his puncture while very, very calmly. She's got the eyes widened, her mouth open, blood going everywhere. And then she once more lets out you brats, you think you can take me down? Give it your best shot. I am Big Mom, which is typically the route villains go right before they are then taken down. Usually the boasting of "you can't take me down" is preceded by the fact that they get taken down. And that's where we see what many people have been asking for since the introduction of Kid. Ever since we got told that this lad had control of magnetism, we were waiting for, people out there on the internet were waiting for a very scientific pirate captain to appear. So he creates his railgun. They don't necessarily call it a railgun, and they probably never will, because why not? But he creates his railgun. He shoots his damned punk, which essentially, it looks like the kanji for that is essentially railgun minus a character. And he blasts Big Mom. Big Mom takes it directly. Her face is in complete pain, and then you get the moment from Law, who's been telling a lot of big shots since we met him on Puck Hazard that their era is over. So he's continuing his I told you, y'all didn't do nothing. I'm breaking all the gears. Your era's over. You didn't do while we were gone for 2 years. Or that was chapter 1039. I will say that I like this chapter. I know that there's going to be a contingency of the fan base out there for One Piece that feel a certain way. So I know from just reading the Reddits and stuff like that, that there are some people that feel like Captain Eustace Kid is Captain Useless Mid, and that a lot of people don't feel like him and Law should be fighting on the same plateau as Big Mom or Kaido. But I don't know, I don't think this is the end of Big Mom, but I think this is the end of Big Mom for this arc. I would be fine if, there's a lot of speculation that she'll fall through the hole that Law created. eventually Big Mom is going to go down, but I am on the camp that I would like to see Big Mom completely put to rest at the hands of Luffy. Their story feels much more personal than it ever felt like for Kaido. I know Luffy and Law's actions directly impacted Kaido, but Luffy going to Whole Cake Island, Luffy being captured, Luffy losing Sanji, Luffy, worrying about, all these pieces that he was probably going to lose in the battle with Big Mom and her pirate crew. Like, it just felt more personal that he should be. I mean, he made the direct threat to her, like, when I get to the New World, I'm going to shut you up. And then reiterated that in front of her on Whole Cake Island, saying, next time I'll bring my whole crew, and then I'll show you. So I think it would be more fitting to have Luffy deliver the final blow, but it does not need to be here, or does it? I don't know. I'd be fine with the fandom that's on board seeing Big Mom make it to Elbaf, and then that the whole Big Mom arc ending at Elbaf because of her connection and backstory tied with it. But I also don't inherently need it. If Law and Kid take her out and put her out of commission for the remainder of the story, not just the arc, but the remainder of the story, I think I'm fine with that. Listen, we have to eventually start progressing our supernovas, these characters of the future, because it's been stated before. These old pirates can't maintain power. There's always someone stronger out there. And while I'm not against, there's a part of the fandom that loves power scaling and doesn't feel like either one of these two should be in the realm fighting Big Mom, whether it's because of her prestige stature or the power that she's already shown, or the fact that she seemingly is coded in advanced Conqueror's Haki, which we've now learned about in the whole Wano arc. Anyways, it seems like maybe they shouldn't. But she ran against two Devil Fruit users that had means of circumventing that. More so, Law had means of, eventually getting through that. And that has caused some of the fandom to say, listen, this proves that Haki isn't the end-all be-all, that Devil Fruits still serve a purpose, because with the right strategy or the right Devil Fruit, you can combat Haki. And it makes total sense, because are we saying that every admiral that we know of has advanced Conqueror's Haki? No, but they still serve as a viable threat to stop the singular Yonko. So maybe not the entire Yonko crew, but the admirals do pose a threat to the Yonko themselves. Otherwise, what's the point of there being this stalemate between the former three big powers, with the Shibukai, with the admirals and the world government, and the Yonko? So there has to be a viable threat within the admirals, and I don't believe Kizaru has advanced Conqueror's Haki. So he's got to be more proficient, and he's got light-based Devil Fruit, so I'm sure he has means of getting through and puncturing your skin should he choose to do so, should he need to stand toe-to-toe with one of the Yonko. But what do you think? Do you like this chapter? Are you hyped for this chapter? Are you on team Kid and Law taking down a Yonko? And if anyone deserves it, Kid, because we've now heard the story of Kid getting put in his place and damaged while encroaching upon Big Mom's territory, and then we saw him battered and bruised once he made it to Wano. But you see Kid constantly getting his beat down, and as we've been told, or as we've seen, people with strong senses of Haki, they are refined and forged through these moments of adversity as long as they maintain their determination. That's why our boy Luffy, and you could argue it's plot armor, but that's why our boy Luffy is constantly growing, because he never gives up on his ability to overcome the challenge before him. And while Kid is not Luffy, Kid is showing that he has that same sense of determination. That was the whole point of showing how him and Luffy mirror each other in the prison at Udon, is to show that, listen, eventually, while he may never story-wise be a threat to Luffy, Kid has attributes of our boy Luffy, and that's something that will make him a threat to these characters of stagnant power. And the Yonko are stagnated power. It's time for a new world to rise up in the new world, and we're about to see it. This climax of this arc is going to shake the world. And clearly, since we're secluded from the rest of the world, we're not seeing a whole lot of what's happening outside. But Blackbeard is making a move. The world government's making a move. The Shibukai remnants are making moves or trying to escape, moves being made upon them. And those Elder Stars seem to be dead set on killing someone. Reverie went bad. We don't know what happened there. So I'm excited to see where everything happens. But right now, for this chapter, I think this is awesome. We need to see a supernova other than Luffy and Zoro make a big wave, because Luffy and Zoro can't take down everyone. So why not have Law and Kid, who seem to be natural trios within captains with Luffy? Why not have them take down one? I'm interested to see what you have to say. Please leave comments and let me know how you felt about this chapter. Do you agree, disagree? What are some things that you're looking forward to with the next chapter? Because 1040 is coming next week. No break. No break piece. This has been the Anamanga Nerd, Mr. Cat, talking about One Piece chapter 1039. Again, once more, if you've enjoyed this content, please like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, or smash the dinghy, and join with us as I continue to put out content. All right, have a good one. Bye.